Thursday Thunder, Dan.
I just saw it. I think I might be holding this segment down. The way you guys bounced as soon as you heard that music with genuine enthusiasm.
Yeah! The Honorable Sir Dan Le Batard speaks today.
You got a sir, Dan.
I don't know what this bit is over here. I don't understand it.
It's crushing.
It's the town crier, Dan.
Okay, but how?
Sounds more like the town shouter.
Thursday.
I mean, come on.
That means we bring the thunder. Oh, we're red hot with this, aren't we?
Yeah, we've hit two of three the last 3 weeks.
Red hot. Red hot. Making you money if you decide to tail. But if you decide to tail responsibly. Thursday Thunder is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code Dan when you sign up on the app for a limited time offer for new customers. Tony Kalatayoud. Hit him with the thunder.
Thank you, Mike. Big game in the TNF tonight. Thursday Night Football, we've got Tennessee Titans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dan Marino played tonight. Dan, what do you think about that? You excited?
I can't believe
in his hometown.
You have taken the take where the take has not gone anywhere this season, I think.
Thank
Mike.
you.
Mike's been proud of you lately, and I don't like that he's encouraging you here.
So proud of Tony's growth.
Did you guys see the video of Marino, by the way, like walking up to a group of kids and just being like, I'll sign one autograph.
He's like, I'm not
the
doing
rest
all
of you
this.
get the hell away from me.
I was just talking about the mass that Tony has put on in the last 2 months.
Thank you.
See one of your projects, too?
We go to the same guy.
Just like Shale and LeBron. Anyways, Steelers money line tonight. We like Dan Marino to have a
Come on,
bad game.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a rookie's second start after a
They
lot
got
of
tape
rat
on 'em.
poison.
Yeah.
They got
Oh,
tape,
I heard
short
Mike
week.
Ryan. Look, Mike Ryan's gambling is a little bit out of hand, I would say, and he was
Tell that to Byron Leverkusen.
he was wandering around, shouting at people about DeAndre Hopkins. Not going to do that again. Not going to do
Can't
that
possibly.
again. Can't do it again because he's not Dan Marino. Okay.
If you squint, you see it. Second leg.
But not on a short week.
Not on
Dan.
a short week. A short week is tough when they got tape on you. The second leg here, we've been hot on QB rushing overs. 2 weeks ago, we had Derek Carr, whose over was a half yard.
Half yard, yeah.
Nailed it. Last year, yeah. Last week, we had Josh Allen, 21.5, hitting the first drive. So we are hot right now. We're going Kenny Pickett over 9.5 yards, rushing the ball.
But he's hurt,
Rushing.
Tony.
Doesn't matter.
But Tony is hurt.
Doesn't matter. All you need is one run.
I saw on those props. I saw originally early in the season, Tua's at 1.5 yards, 2 yards, but now he's at 4 and 4.5 yards per game.
We're still not.
This
we're
is
still-
pathetic betting this stuff. You can't bet this
We're
stuff.
hot. We're hot right now, Dan.
Red hot.
2 weeks in a row. I almost said years again. I can't stop saying years. Third leg, Deontay Johnson over 5.5 catches. I think he's their best wide receiver. Kenny Pickett does too.
That is a terrible game.
I'm excited to see it.
You are?
Yeah. Let's see. Will Levis do it on the road on a short week? And I'm just curious how Mike Tomlin's going to invent a way to win.
But how can he invent a way to win when Vrabel's always inventing the ways to win?
These are
That's the
two.
thing.
These are two guys that are either good at beating
There can
dogs
only
or
be
small
one.
favorites. After a long, it's a Highlander game.
It is a Highlander
it's,
game.
It's Duncan McLeod versus Connor McLeod.
Okay, I've got a problem with what's happening with Mike. First of all, he's getting totally out of control, drunk with power, and he made a 6-star recruit.
I didn't. God did.
His project.
And his project, he's taking, as someone's involved in the collective, he's sort of taking responsibility. Booster for,
Hey, look, it's a collective effort.
and then you're
As in
hitting,
they collect your money.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
and then you're hitting me with Highlander references, and we're talking about Reuben Bain and gambling, and we're playing fun music. And on a day where I imagine, man, a sports icon has passed, and I imagine in some of the places where America is divided beyond sports, that Indiana will want this man treated reverentially. Bob Knight, I think I've got this right. If you can go across regions and sort of see how the country feels about things, and we wonder aloud if we're going to have a president in 2024 from jail.
Roy just fly swatted you.
But Roy was cut off several times so we could talk about Ruben Bain and so we could do Thursday Thunder. And I would like to have a more honest conversation than the careful one that Mike was. Look, Mike was being respectful.
Honest. We were plenty honest. We've been plenty honest about Bob Knight. Have we pulled any punches when it comes to Bob Knight?
I'm not saying we. I'm just talking about how do you imagine this is going over in Indiana?
I mean, how often would you like to eulogize someone by calling them a racist? Because I did it at least 5 times.
Yeah, he did do that. Yeah.
Okay, but you wanted 7 more? Okay.
So, Roy, the floor is yours.
Hey, listen, the last thing I saw this man do was stump for Trump, right? He called him America's defender. So between that and using the N-word, because racism, excuse me from, saying that, rest in power. I'm not saying that for him today. I'm sorry.
Both loved and loathed is the second paragraph of the obituary today. And these are
Same could be said for Matt Canada.
Yeah.
Tonight on Thursday Night Football.
a handful of things. We'll talk to John Feinstein about this in a second. He wrote the book on Knight a long time ago. I think A Season on the Brink. I think I can say this. One of the top 10 sports books all time, maybe top 5. What he wrote about Bob Knight a long time ago, almost creating even more myth around Bob Knight.
Do you think he calls him complicated at all?
That's probably what you'll hear today, right? The way to soften it.
You know what?
Complicated guy.
No, Feinstein.
Complex.
I don't think of John Feinstein as careful or pulling punches.
I meant the media in general because, like, most people aren't doing what we did. Like, they're probably just going to talk about the positive stuff.
You're not gonna really see that on ESPN.
You don't think so?
No, I think people will.
They'll say complicated at worst.
Complicated?
Yeah.
Certainly
but they'll
found
go
trouble.
He was
a mixed bag.
All right,
Certainly found trouble.
No, it's not going to. Come on. No, these are the incidents.
Joe Zagacki.
No, come on.
He was one of my favorites.
No.
Oh,
A hard guy to understand.
whoa.
All right, you give me the counter punch on this then as Joe Zagacki.
I don't know why I made Joe
Leaves
Zagacki a big fan
complicated
of.
legacy.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Don't pull any punches.
Just
counter punch.
let me do my part. I'll do the
He rarely pulled punches, especially
Can-
when it came to his own players.
I'll do the actual incident and you just do Joe Zagacki
Okay.
whatever the counter is. You just did it.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm gonna.
During the 1979 Pan American Games in Puerto Rico, he was accused of assaulting a policeman, calling him the N-word, calling the Brazilian women's team dirty whores, and saying Puerto Rico was good only for growing bananas. Both he and others present denied the accusations, but in absentia, he'd already left the Commonwealth, he was found guilty of assault and sentenced to 6 months in jail. He never returned to serve his time, and years later, the conviction was reversed.
In his defense, Mofongo is great.
He fired a race starter's pistol loaded with blanks at a Louisville sports writer.
That's just funny.
During the Final Four of the 1981 NCAA tournament in Philadelphia, he grabbed a heckling LSU fan and stuffed him into a trash can.
No one likes LSU fans, and that's a banner.
Irked after being charged with a technical foul in a game against Illinois, he kicked a megaphone, then yelled at Indiana cheerleaders to shut up so future UCLA coach Steve Alford could shoot a free throw.
Again, funny.
In an interview with Connie Chung on national television, he made a crude and ill-advised analogy involving rape, remarks he later said were misinterpreted.
Gonna sit this one out.
Using a bullwhip, he gave a mock beating to Calbert Chaney, one of his black players, then later insisted the incident was not racially motivated. I don't mean to laugh.
I think he'd whip any player, whatever their color.
He headbutted player Sharon Wilkerson after pulling him out of a game, then later claimed the action was unintentional.
How many opt-outs do I have?
He was accused of choking a restaurant patron who said Knight had been making racist remarks.
If it was a waiter, I'd understand.
He was accused years after the alleged incidents of choking player Neil Reed during practice. Knight denied it, but a former assistant coach came forward with a video and of throwing a vase at a secretary, breaking a picture behind her desk.
Throwing a vase is kind of funny.
Okay, no, wait a minute.
In the direction or at is very important distinction.
Okay.
Who throws a vase?
Rest in power?
Complicated legacy for Bob Knight. Bob Knight passed away today.
The team of the Jazz
At
Band
the
and
team
Sneakers.
of 83.
It's not what it, come
At
on.
the age of 83. Rest in power. I don't know. I don't. What I racially complex Joe Zagacki is not my favorite, especially while improving. It's like it's whose line is it anyways?
This death is brought to you by
Williamson, Cadillac, and Isuzu.
Regardless, I believe, let's take bets on this, Chris Cody. I believe John Feinstein will not pull any of those punches. Like, do you believe
He's like we report, you decide kind of guy, right?
I think he'll be careful. I think he'll say complicated and stuff like that. I don't think he'll say the word racist.
He's an old-time journalist who wrote a book that was one of the greatest sports books of all time. I don't know what you guys considered. I think Agassi's biography is the best I've ever seen in sports, but I would put
Dolphins at 50.
Yes, of course. Dolphins at 50.
Fins at 50. Get it on Amazon right now.
Greg Cody is number one in the charts. Number one in like 3 incredibly obscure environmental categories. Like,
Southeast Lion Books.
yes. I mean, him and Ron McGill are killing it, though. And all he's doing is again and again refreshing to see how many sales that he has and where his rankings are. What a
And
great...
he doesn't even know his cut. Yeah. I'm like, what's the deal here? He's like, I don't know.
He's doing it for the right reasons then.
Right, and he and Ron McGill will tear apart as soon as business is involved and they realize that there's actual money involved.
My dad's bad at business, huh?
Oh, my God, terrible. Like, truly, epically bad.
He has a wife as a lawyer.
If you want to buy Fins at 50, I found a paperback edition on Amazon for $400.
You guys need to buy all of Greg Cody's books and delude him into thinking that his writing is all of a sudden something that is shooting up the charts because he wants to believe it.
God, mofongo is delicious.
It is, indisputably.
shrimp in
Especially
there,
if
too.
you get a
Love the
little
shrimp.
acidity with the pico and the lime.
What's the bet, Chris Cody? You think Feinstein's going to sit it out? He's a real journalist. The book was shocking because it reported all this stuff from the
That's
inside.
not sitting it out.
I think he's careful.
But
I think he'll talk about some of the bad stuff, but he'll be careful.
Yeah, editorializing is not his job here, right?
I don't think we'll hear the word racist.
All right. I'm now looking forward to this.
he may hear
Was he a
accused
racist? Dan's first question.
We cannot find John Feinstein. He's supposed to call in. He's supposed to call in and can't do it with video, so we accepted the rare just call us on the phone. And we will do an old-timey sports radio only on the phone, audio only experience with a driving John Feinstein, but we cannot locate him now. And we were going to do the proper this is the reporter who knew the most about Bob Knight, and I cannot find him. And we cannot find him. And why are you laughing at me?
Because we were going to make the effort to do like the proper Bob Knight segment. And instead you just got complicated legacy Joe Zagacki.
which I am happy to have birthed, honestly. I cannot get enough. I cannot get enough there. But hopefully we will get John Feinstein at some point. Also, Adnan and Samson are going to be around here in a little bit, and I'm worried about that segment. And I'd like some help from Chris Cody, the producer of Cinephile, who is now trying to – Chris Cody wants a bigger career. Chris Cody wants to move up in the company, and Chris Cody's been on that pod with Adnan for a long time. And Adnan – we haven't even talked about the World Series. That was last night. Adnan and David Sampson for 6 weeks have been belching baseball content all over their worlds. We're going to have them on to talk movies and not baseball, and their movies are all 40 years old, and they're losing the young audience. The segment is not working because they're talking about movies that are too old and they don't know how to get younger.
Well, you're in luck because I made some changes to the segment. Wow. This week, they are doing the best movies from 2011 to 2020.
Okay.
I saw where your complaint was going to go. I already had this planned before you even said that. I was going to make it seem like I'm going to do that right now, but nope, already planned.
Wow.
The problem with that is you're saying, wow, Tony, but the problem with all that is that we were actually going to do that segment with them before Los Angeles about 4 weeks ago or whatever.
So they're lazy and they just had their list done.
It got derailed with baseball talk, which is what we should be doing right now. But I don't feel confident in the room because Mike Ryan came in and basically just watched 2 pitches of the baseball season
Can't go
last
out
night.
with the bat on your back.
Nope. Can't do that, man.
Also, look, I own this comment. I think Nathan Eovaldi is one of the best postseason pitchers of all time.
You can't own that comment. David Sampson took that comment yesterday, and we laughed at him.
I could not believe the way that you guys laughed at him for that. It was amazing. He is one of the best postseason pitchers of this generation.
Gotta be.
Big Game Nate.
Well, it wasn't this generation.
There have to be.
Wait, what? I don't understand.
The qualifier wasn't this generation.
Big Game Nate.
I don't understand.
There have to be at least 200 people with those same numbers in postseason history.
No, well, in the modern age of big offense, a guy comes in and has an ERA at about 3, and it's whip. It's not like they've advanced the numbers, and he misses a lot of bats, and he's
Two straight segments.
He's a power pitcher.
It's also that he threw like 1,000 innings in that one Red Sox World Series, so he gets to build up that Madison Bumgarner he won them a World Series.
Mad bum.
He's got a great chin.
This is part of the problem. He does, man. The part of the problem with Mike Ryan is he will not change his opinion of.
Just real quick, is he Sicilian?
I saw his career with the Marlins start. We all saw him throwing 101 miles an hour, and he wasn't good here. And Mike Ryan is not willing to change his opinion.
How many pitchers are we going to do this with?
You do it with way too many.
I mean, when I saw Brad Hand become good somewhere else, I was like, this is getting ridiculous.
An all-star. Not good somewhere else, an all-star.
Zach Allen was perfect through 6 innings last night.
What?
That was my friend's fault. As soon as he talked about it, it was blown.
You'll be happy to know that made the 4th TV. That's right. I had to add one for baseball.
You did, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched that game with an eye on it. I told you, I do have some connection to it. My friend Masser is, I think, still partying with the Texas Rangers. I wanted joy for my friend. What was weird, though, is that you had a World Series clinching game, and I am in a baseball chat with baseball fans, and there's been one text the entire week, and it was Snakes Alive.
I've got to tell you, this is look. If baseball has indeed gone from national pastime to regional sport, this in terms of storytelling on the things that people love about their games and sports from the time of Hoosiers, Texas got into this game in the most big Texas way possible, which is we're going to buy here, we're going to buy here, we're going to get Bochy, and we're coming to win the championship. And everyone's looking at him like, George W. Bush was a buffoon as your owner. It's about the best you've ever had. You guys gave A-Rod, finished last place, giving him the biggest contract in the sport. As a sport, the Texas Rangers have been laughed at for 60 years. They got into this game, and not only did they beat everyone, and there were so many good teams out there, the Rays and the Braves, the Dodgers, the Braves were an overwhelming baseball team. For Texas to spend giant, lose
102 games 2 years ago, I believe.
Okay, for them to get in the game and then not only win, but the way they won was just, we are going to smash everybody. We're going to hit giant home runs. The way to play the game correctly now is we're going to hit the ball over the fence more than everybody, and you're going to be down 5-0 a lot because we hit the ball over the fence.
And the craziest part about their lineup is they did develop a couple of players of their own, but like Marcus Semien and Corey Seager, who they went out and spent a ton of money on, were the biggest reason that they thrived in the World Series in particular. And then you look at the pitchers that didn't pitch for them, that are these hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts, when you have Max Scherzer and Jacob.
Jeremy's talking now.
What?
Wow, that is really annoying.
What did he say?
Year
Ass on.
Yearly?
I'm worried about sending you to Germany.
Year he?
Okay,
This was my character, too, in Roy's Realm.
All right, year he.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is it exactly?
Hear ye.
Oh, aren't
pretty
you
simple.
guys just brilliant?
Okay, so is this
Say
what
the same as you guys, by the way.
All right.
Okay.
I've got a problem now. I got to stop for a second. No, I'm not. Tony, you were very quick with the trigger, kicking him out. No, this is the problem that I have.
It's year he?
No.
Year he!
Careful with the pronouns, I guess.
Yeah.
Back to you.
This is the problem that I have. Chris Cody is going to Germany. I don't know what he's making. This is a secondary problem. We're sending him to Germany with film crew and evidently Juju, and we're going to cover Dolphins Chiefs, but he's not qualified.
He is. He is.
Huh.
And
I resent that, by the way.
And his judgment is very bad. We're not in agreement on this.
Which side of Germany?
You know what? I'm not comfortable with some of what's
I don't
happening.
hate. I was going to say I don't hate this character, but I don't hate this character for off air. I hate this character for on air.
Chris Cody,
What's up?
I think you've gotten Meadowlark into legal trouble now
Lubble.
because I don't know that you could just take the picture of someone's foot in the stall next to you and then foot shame them publicly with
That
an
would
arm
be
of a media company or a foot of a media company.
That would be a hilarious court case. Like, think about the pub. Oh, my God. we're
Don't
zooming
do
in
that
more.
again.
Hands.
Don't do that
I
again.
just love the idea of some guy being like, it's not even him, it's his friend who knows his foot. He's like, hey, John, I saw your foot on a podcast. And then next thing you know, we're in court. Dung, dung, dung. Chris Cody took a picture.
You're laughing at this, and I'm not sure that it's funny because
I mean, I didn't take the picture. Someone else did and sent it to me.
But did you commit a crime? Did we commit a crime by? I don't know if we've invaded a privacy in a public bathroom. There are issues with taking photographs of people who don't know they're being photographed in bathrooms. I'm not sure how legal any of that is.
Can we crop my knee out of that photo, please? Thank you.
Incriminating, we can agree, right?
Freckled knee.
There are a lot of freckled knees out there.
Mike, the show has been knocked a little bit off kilter this week because I don't know why the useless sound montage didn't get here until today. But I also don't know why Amin is not here yet because Oddball is running long. And I don't know anything about why Stugotz and Chris Cody. Like, what kind of gig does Chris Cody have? Where it's not just he gets sent to Germany, a trip everybody wanted to take. But yesterday, he's golfing on company time with Stugotz. And I don't
That
know.
was a DraftKings project.
You got paid for that?
I mean, I have a salary.
Yeah. I mean, you said it yourself. He wants his star to grow. So he's growing.
I've physically grown, but I'm trying to do it more professionally at this point.
What can we tell people about the content that will be birthed from you doing what you did yesterday?
We competed against Bob Does Sports, very popular golf YouTube channel, and Stugotz was as Stugotz as he could be. That's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything. He did show up. I'll say that. And, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's great. It's going to be a must-watch.
Yeah, it's embargoed, Dan. And this is going to air in a couple of weeks, so don't try to pry.
Okay. Well, I would call it promotion, but prying is
We just
another
did
way.
it.
Promote when it's done.
We just did it.
You just
It's a little
talk about
promo.
it, but you're going to be like, well, what did Stugotz do specifically? And, I mean, you got to save it for air, babe.
Okay. But I also want to build up the tension. Babe? Was that?
Babe,
Was that
like a pig.
Was
It's a
that,
play on for me.
was that an Uncle Jesse, babe? You
No,
gotta
it's
do it,
I
babe.
spent a lot of time in SoCal.
Oh,
Tinseltown.
Are people still asking questions about why we were out there?
Yeah, and I don't have a good answer for them just yet. Other than poorly dressed sports reporters.
That's a good appraisal of what we did out there.
You cried.
When people listen, man. Yeah, we don't want to talk about anxiety and grief, right? And why this has been a hiding place for 2 years, a wonderful
Rub some
hiding
dirt on
place.
Bury your feelings like a real man. Go
yeah.
to your office, open up something brown, pour it down your gullet, take it out on your kids.
I love this character so much. Joe Zagacki, the actual and real Joe Zagacki, outside a hallway in early QAM days when he was drunk with power,
On the corner of 441 and Commercial Boulevard.
drunk with power and running this market. Like Zagacki's a legend in this market. Zagacki almost died. He had a plane crash where he was doing like genuine great volunteer work, like amazing volunteer work. And Joe Zagacki hated me. And the wars of newspapers and Joe Zagacki made it so that he yelled at me one day when I was co-hosting on QAM about what I would not say on their air. This character you've created, who runs this town as unhinged Joe Zagacki, can't be controlled as program director, he must flourish. He must live.